Welcome, fitness friends. In this video, I want to go over a diet plan that you can follow to actually lower your cholesterol. Let's say you just got back from the doctor and the blood work showed that your cholesterol is a little bit high. But hopefully the doctor's giving you 2 or 3 months to start exercising, to clean up the diet, to hopefully lower your cholesterol naturally so you don't have to go on medication. So in this video, let's go over 4 specific things you can do to lower your cholesterol. Now, the first thing I'm going to want you to do is to switch to a whole natural food diet, actually low in carbohydrates. And this is why eating a low carbohydrate diet can help you lower your cholesterol. Okay, when you eat a meal, especially a meal high in carbohydrates, whatever calories you're not burning right then, those excess calories are going to be stored away in your muscles and your liver. Excess carbohydrates are stored away in the muscles and the liver for when you need energy down the road. Obviously, fat is stored in fat cells. But the problem is that the muscles and the liver can only hold so much excess carbohydrates. It's actually stored in a term called glycogen. Excess carbohydrates are stored as glycogen in your muscle and your liver. Now, your liver can only hold maybe 50 to 100 grams, right? It can't hold that much. The most it can hold is maybe 400 calories. So once the liver is full with carbohydrates, what happens? Any additional carbohydrates you eat are converted into triglycerides. That's what raises your cholesterol. I don't know if you looked at the numbers of your cholesterol, but there's 3 basic types of cholesterol. There's like that bad cholesterol with just triglycerides and LDLs, low density lipoproteins. Those are the numbers you want to reduce. And then there's the good cholesterol, the HDL, the high density lipoproteins. Those are the cholesterol, that's the cholesterol you want to increase. So by eating a low carbohydrate diet, you're going to actually stop the liver from making too many triglycerides. It's actually going to lower your cholesterol. And there's a specific type of sugar that, in my opinion, is probably the most dangerous sugar to eat that can actually raise triglycerides the most, and that's fructose. See, fructose is different than other types of sugars, like starchy type sugars, or even table sugar. It's half glucose, half fructose. See, fructose goes directly to the liver to be processed. So if you're eating a lot of, say, processed foods, like high fructose corn syrup and sodas and cookies and cakes, that fructose is going to go right to your liver. And your liver can only process and store so much. And if you're overdoing it, it's going to explode. Triglycerides is really going to raise your cholesterol. So eating a low carbohydrate diet and a very low diet in fructose, I would even limit fruits to maybe low sugar fruits, like only eat berries. I wouldn't even eat a lot of fruits until you get your cholesterol under control. So you want to have a whole natural food diet. You want to eliminate those processed foods because you don't want to eat that high fructose corn syrup, and you want to minimize the amount of carbohydrates you're eating in general. I would say if you're on the smaller side, let's say if you're 150 pounds or less, I would say don't eat more than 100 grams of carbohydrates a day. That'll be 400 calories. If you're a bigger guy or gal, say you're 200 pounds, try to limit your carbohydrates to about 150 grams, say 600 calories, but really try to eliminate fructose from your diet completely. Now, the second thing I want you to do is to eat a high fiber diet. Now, this is a big mistake most people make when they switch over to more of a low carb diet. They just eliminate all the fiber out of their food. Like they stop eating whole wheat bread, they stop eating fruit, and the amount of fiber in the diet goes down. But you don't have to let that happen. What you should do is you have to increase the amount of vegetables you're eating. See, vegetables are really high in fiber. They're relatively low in calories. They're low sugar carbohydrates. Great for lowering cholesterol. And another thing you can do, in my opinion, even though you're eating a low carb diet, say you're eating anywhere between 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates a day, it's okay to have a bowl of oatmeal. Like 1/3 of a cup of raw oats is only about 100 calories, right? Maybe 20 grams of carbohydrates, relatively high in fiber. You're gonna get about 3 or 4 grams of fiber. You can make a bowl of oatmeal. You can sprinkle on top of it maybe a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, which is also high in fiber. So don't think you'll have to eliminate these good, healthy foods when you're eating low carb. You want to eat tons of vegetables to keep the fiber up. You can use things like flaxseed, ground flaxseed, and you can even have a bowl of oatmeal. Oatmeal has been shown to lower cholesterol. So these are all great things you can do. Now, the third thing I'd like you to do is to change the type of fat you're eating. You know, it's okay to eat a high-fat diet. That can actually increase your HDLs, your high-density lipoproteins, as long as you're eating the right type of fats. Okay, so what the type of fats you want to eliminate are those trans fats, obviously, those processed oils. Horrible, create inflammation in the body. The other thing you want to do is you want to minimize the amount of vegetable oils you're eating, like those corn oils, those omega-6 oils. So you want to change the ratio of those fatty acids you're eating. You want to increase the omega-3s. Those are those good, healthy fats, and you want to reduce the omega-6s. That's going to increase the good cholesterol in your body and even lower your LDLs and triglycerides, the bad type. And so how do you increase the omega-3s? By eating like wild-caught fatty fish, like eating wild-caught salmon, wild-caught sardines, even the type of meat you're picking. If you went with like grass-fed or wild-caught fish, they're going to be higher. The fat profile in the fish and the meat is going to be higher in omega-3s. If you buy like pasture-raised eggs, and don't be afraid about eating whole eggs. It's okay to eat whole eggs. You know, recent research has shown that eggs don't necessarily raise cholesterol. And a pasture-raised egg is going to be higher in omega-3s. And this all ties into just eliminating those processed foods. See, the processed foods are high in the corn oils, can have trans fats in them. When you're eating a whole natural food diet, low in carbohydrates, high in fiber, it's automatically going to fall into the proper types of fats, like an avocado, high in monounsaturated fat, loaded with fiber, incredible thing to eat to help lower your cholesterol. Now, the fourth thing I'd like you to do is to start experimenting with intermittent fasting. And all intermittent fasting means is that you're going to be cycling between periods of eating and not eating. Just think about when you go to sleep at night, you're in a fasted state. As long as you don't wake up and, like throw a cookie in your mouth. You wake up in the morning, you're having breakfast, you're breaking your fast. But with intermittent fasting, you just extend your fasting period. For example, a really popular approach is called 16-8. Where you're fasting for 16 hours, and then you're taking in all your calories within an 8-hour eating window. And it's called intermittent fasting because you can do it intermittently. Start off doing it just once, maybe twice a week. Skip breakfast. You're allowed to have like no calorie type liquids during your 16-hour fast. You can have like black coffee, green tea. You can drink tons of like mineral water. Then you can break your fast, say 12 o'clock in the afternoon with a nice whole natural food, low carb, high fiber type meal. And then just have your last meal before 8 in the evening. So you fasted for 8 hours and then you took on all your calories within an 8-hour eating window. And that's going to do a number of things for you. First of all, when you're in a fasted state, what are you doing? You're burning stored energy. You're burning body fat. You're depleting like that stored glycogen, those stored carbohydrates in your liver. You're burning them off so the body can't make or won't make triglycerides. Great way to lower your cholesterol. Plus, you're going to lose weight. Just losing weight in general is an incredible way to lower your cholesterol. So let's review this whole cholesterol lowering program. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to switch to a whole natural food diet, low in carbohydrates, right? Then you're going to increase the amount of fiber in your diet. You can eat tons of vegetables. You can eliminate all high fructose corn syrup and processed food. The third thing you're going to do is increase your omega-3s. You're going to start eating fatty fish. You're going to buy wild-caught grass-fed meats, pasture-raised eggs. And the fourth thing you're going to do, you're going to start experimenting with intermittent fasting. Now, if you want a more like structured program to follow, I recently put one of my personal training clients on a 4-week program to lower his cholesterol. He dramatically lowered his cholesterol in 4 weeks, and he actually lost 14 pounds. And I made a video about it. Check out this video. I think you're gonna find it really helpful for lowering your cholesterol and improving your diet. And also just keep in mind, run this whole program by your doctor and see what your doctor thinks about this diet plan for lowering your cholesterol.